Welcome everyone to another episode of Retro Wrestling Reviews. Fredo Esparza here, and this week we look back at World Class Championship Wrestling's May 15th, 1982 show. Before we get to the review, be sure to click that subscribe button. We'll have more wrestling show reviews as well as the Lucha World podcast and other content available. This week's episode was taped on May 9th, 1982 at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas, and aired on May 15th, 1982. Mark Lawrence is on commentary this week. We go quickly to the first match with Captain Frank Dusek beating Mike Bond with a DDT for the pin. Mark Lawrence mentions that one time Frank Dusek told him that he considered himself one of the greatest criminal minds in the world today, which Lawrence wasn't sure what he was talking about. This was a pretty competitive match with Bond getting in a lot of offense against Dusek, but Dusek was always able to cut him off at the right time. Dusek reversed a whip into the ropes and followed with a clothesline at Bond. He yelled out it was over to the fans and went for the DDT and got the pin on Bond. This was an okay match. That was then followed by Armand Hussein introducing the Magic Dragon to Mark Lawrence. Hussein tells Lawrence that the dragon doesn't use a weapon and just has a black heart. Very deep stuff from Armand Hussein. That was then followed by the Magic Dragon with Armand Hussein beating Ken Mantell with a leg lock sleeper hold. This was the Magic Dragon's debut, and he and Mantell had a pretty good match. Mark Lawrence said that the Magic Dragon wears a mask because his parents are ashamed of him for getting into pro wrestling. That sounds very interesting. Lawrence said that he comes from a nice family, but he isn't too nice himself. Mantell started off the match with a takedown on the Dragon. Mantell had to break due to being near the ropes. We then get the Magic Dragon screaming as he goes for a kick at Mantell. He screams again, delivering a chop at Mantell. Referee breaks them apart in the corner. That gives Mantell a chance to go after the Magic Dragon's left arm. Hussein can be heard ringside blowing his whistle. The Dragon tries to break out of an armbar and even uses a fireman's carry takedown, but Mantell keeps the armbar locked in. Dragon finally chopped and kicked away Mantell. The Magic Dragon used a nerve hold on Mantell's armpits. Mantell decides to punch at Dragon's bare feet. He's able to escape, but Dragon quickly catches him with a thrust kick and a hard chop across the chest. The Magic Dragon does this really cool backflip off the top rope and follows it up with a kick at Mantell in the corner. Dragon then grabs Mantell with his legs and uses them to get him in a sleeper hold variation. They roll around the mat and Dragon gets the win. Referee calls for the bell, but the Magic Dragon won't break the sleeper hold. Hussein removes Dragon's legs off of Mantell's neck. The Magic Dragon stands as if he's ready to fight Hussein, but Armand is able to calm him down. This was a good match. That was then followed by the third match on the show, which was Wild Bill Irwin beating Hangman Rick Harris after a middle rope double axe handle for the pin in 43 seconds. A really, really short match with Irwin attacking Harris before the bell rang. They went back and forth with some kicks, punches, and forearms. Irwin slammed Harris and went for the middle rope double axe handle for the pin. Harris wasn't pleased and screamed at Irwin, wanting him to return to the ring. H&H Incorporated joins Mark Lawrence for an interview. Lawrence mentions that Bundy and McGraw lost their tag team titles. Hussein says they were robbed in San Antonio, Texas. He tells Lawrence to never say it was a loss. Bundy is upset at Al Madril and Kerry Von Erich and vows to get those tag titles back. McGraw with a crazy promo and calls Madril and Von Erich thieves. They then air a video of Fritz Von Erich's first wrestling match. Fritz is wrestling as Jack Atkinson and going up against Alice Bashara. These are just short clips. Bashara ends up beating Atkinson in his first match. That is then followed by the main event on the show, which was a tag team match featuring Bugsy McGraw and King Kong Bundy, along with Armand Hussein, beating Al Madril and the Spoiler. Bundy and McGraw took turns splashing Madril in the corner, and that led to McGraw getting the pin. Al Madril gets Bugsy worked up early in the match as he's able to counter everything McGraw tries to get him with. Crowd cheered Madril loudly as Al punched McGraw several times. McGraw starts to scream. He continues to have trouble with Madril as he counters everything Bugsy does. The Spoiler tags in and continued to control the match until Bundy decided to tag him. Madril got back into the ring to even out the odds. Referee tried to get Bundy out of, but he's unable to do it. Bundy ends up getting a knee into Spoiler's midsection. That allows Bugsy to finally tag in Bundy. Bundy catches the Spoiler with some forearms, but then misses a corner splash. The Spoiler climbs up the ropes and lands an elbow on Bundy. Bundy tags Bugsy back in and he beats on the Spoiler. Bundy gets back in and he elbows the Spoiler, but the Spoiler is able to fight back. Bundy and the Spoiler go after each other for a bit until Bundy gets him in a bear hug. The Spoiler fights out of the bear hug, but Bugsy McGraw gets into the ring. The Spoiler tags in Madril, who attacks McGraw with some punches. Bundy comes back in and he gets Madril with some more punches. Al does a little rope-a-dope dancing and punching at Bundy. Bundy fights back and tags in McGraw, who splashed Madril, but only gets a 2 count. All 4 men get in the ring. The Spoiler goes after Arman Hussein. Bundy and McGraw then double team Madril and splash him in the corner. That allows McGraw to get the pin on Madril. After the match, Mark Lawrence interviews Arman Hussein, Bugsy McGraw, and King Kong Bundy. Hussein talks about H&H Associates having a lot of money and invested in these 2 men. McGraw mentions that one half of the World Tag Team Champions, which was Al Madril, is now laying on the mat having been beaten. I thought this was a good episode. Fans were loud and very energetic throughout the show. Best match on the show was the Magic Dragon versus Ken Mantell. I really dug the Magic Dragon's finisher, and he had great agility and some really cool offense. Mantell was pretty good too. The tag main event was also pretty good, more of a brawl than the Mantell Dragon match was. The other 2 matches were just okay. The added highlight of Fritz Von Erich's first match was enjoyable, but not much of the match aired. So it was just cool to see some really old clips of Fritz Von Erich when he first started wrestling. This was a fun show overall. Highly recommend it, especially if you want to watch the Magic Dragon Ken Mantell match, which I thought was pretty good for a TV match, especially during this time period. That's it for this review. Be sure to subscribe to the Retro Wrestling YouTube channel, and we'll be back again soon with more reviews.